you guys? Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So you guys, we are going to be going over basically an interview that Gypsy Rose Blanchard did recently, very recently. I literally think she did it yesterday. And it's not a sit down interview with a media outlet or a news magazine. It is basically a conversation that she had with her good friend Bree. Now, if you follow Gypsy Rose Blanchard, you guys know that Bree is what some people call Gypsy's bulldog, her pit bull. When Gypsy is being attacked, this Bree girl allegedly goes and all out defends Gypsy 100%. Bree has her own social media platforms where she does TikToks to defend, Gypsy. If something comes out negative about Gypsy, this Bree girl, she will put out something uh, to prove that whatever is negatively being said about Gypsy, that they're wrong and that Gypsy is this great person. And Bree and Gypsy, I don't know when they became friends, probably right after Gypsy got out of prison, they became friends, but they are like this. And it's even said that Gypsy, to keep herself out of trouble, that she will instruct Bree on like what to do, right? Like if there's a creator that's talking smack, rather than Gypsy going and leaving comments or doing anything, she instructs this Bree girl to, right? So this Bree and Gypsy, they are like this. Even after Gypsy kind of went silent on social media, apparently people were going to this Bree girl asking her questions like, "What's up with Gypsy? Is she really gone? Um, did she have the baby?" Because this Bree girl and Gypsy are such good buddies. It's known. Some people call her bulldog. Some people say that she is being manipulated by Gypsy to do her dirty work. Whatever the case may be, I think it was yesterday that Bree was live on her TikTok account and she was crying. She was full blown crying about how difficult it is for Gypsy because of all the hate that she gets and how it just breaks her heart to see her friend be attacked so much. And that if people knew the real Gypsy, that they would not attack her this way. That if people could just get the chance to know Gypsy, they would see what she sees. And this Brie girl is like probably, I mean, I hate to guess an age, but I would have to say she's probably around my age. And I'm 37, right? So this Brie person is full on, you know, crying. And Gypsy joins the live. Gypsy from her TikTok account that was hacked, was banned, has come back. She is on this TikTok account. She joins Brie. At first to console her, at first to be like, "It's okay, don't cry." But basically what it turns into, and I don't know if Brie did this intentionally, it basically turns into a full-blown interview with Brie asking Gypsy questions. Like, "So how was this? So how was that? So did this really happen when you were hacked? The messages that were released, were those real messages? Those were fake messages, right?" It literally turned into a full-blown interview with Brie asking Gypsy all the questions that, I think everybody is kind of sitting back, kind of wondering. Now, about a week or so ago, this channel called Ivory Rose Grows, I think that's what it's called, Ivory Rose Grows. This lady that runs the channel, she lives in the same town as Gypsy and Rod and Christy. And this person has come out several times to talk about what's being said around town. Well, about a week or so ago, this account posted a video saying that the word in Golden Meadows, which is where they live, is that Christy is taking care of Aurora, taking care of the baby. That Gypsy, had the baby, but she does not take care of the baby. That she's thrown the baby off on Christy. And that Christy has told several of her friends this, that she has complained about Gypsy not being an active mom and just kind of throwing the baby off on her. Well, Gypsy had said, that she was going to just shut her social media down, that she was going to take care of, nest or whatever and enjoy the last few weeks of being pregnant. and that she was stepping away from social media. But in this interview, is what I'm going to call it, she basically did admit that while she was not going live, she was paying attention to what was happening. She was paying attention to the creators that was putting out videos about her. She mentioned Ivory Rose Grows. She's like, I saw that video where she said that Christy's taking care of my baby. And she commented about it. She said that's not true. So this Brie girl claims to be, Gypsy's best friend, but she basically did a full-blown interview, and it was like 50 minutes long. So I got half of it that we're going to do today, and the other half we'll do Monday, because it was just so much to kind of go through and weed out the stuff that wasn't important or didn't make sense or we didn't care to listen to. So I got one half today that we're going to listen to. And this half there, she addresses the rumors that Christy's taking care of the baby. She also comments about the hacker. She comments about her and Ryan's divorce and the leaked messages. She also talks about the first photo that was posted and how there was a misunderstanding in regards to that first photo. So I'm going to go ahead, we're going to jump right in, and we're going to listen to this interview that was done on TikTok yesterday.
But we're doing good. But we're doing.
Bear with me, guys. Okay, you guys let me know if you can hear it, if the audio is well. If there is a echo, let me know so I can cut my mic off. She says that Ken is there. She says that her and Ken are, tag teaming this, that when she's feeding, he's changing diapers and vice versa, and that he's been there throughout all of this. So let's go ahead. Let's listen to this little interview that she did.
Good. Yeah, I saw a couple of videos that are circulating around that there's this rumor that Christy's taking care of Aurora, which is completely untrue. I'm watching these videos, having 4 hours of sleep, getting up every 2 hours to feed her, change her. Like, I do everything, with the exception of Ken helping, of course. Like, we take shifts, and if I change her, Ken will feed her. We're doing the best we can as parents, and we're doing pretty good. I don't ask Christy to take her and do everything. Christy is there in case I need her, but for the most part, I'm rocking it, and as they say, I'm just doing the damn thing. Like, I've got my big girl panties on. I'm a mom now, and I'm taking my responsibilities seriously. But nobody sees that stuff. So the rumors fly.
I guess we'll do Jax. We'll do that. At the end of the day, and it doesn't matter. Like you said, the people who know.
Yeah.
No, I'm so I know I can tell. I think when I had talked to you last, I think you said she had just went to sleep. I was like, oh, you got a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I sleep whenever she sleeps during the night. I have like a little, the stopwatch on your phone, the app, the clock app. So I set the timer, the stopwatch, from the time that she has her last feed to the time that she wakes up for her next feed. That way I can kind of figure out her schedule of when she's hungry. And she's waking up probably about every hour and 45 to 2 hours and 30 at night.
And I'm not gonna lie, if this is the case, if she is waking up every hour and a half to every 2.5 hours, that's not getting a lot of sleep, because you got to think, usually when you feed the baby, they'll fall asleep eating, so you can put them right back down, but then it takes you some time to go back to sleep, right? So you may not go back to sleep for 30 minutes to an hour, but then, according to Gypsy, she's saying within an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, the baby's waking back up. So if that is the case, she's going to need some help, because listen, as someone that's had 6 kids, oh, thank you, Ashley. No, that is absolutely okay. Thank you. But as someone that's had 6 kids, I've had those babies that wake up, some that'll sleep all through the night and only wake up maybe every 3 to 4 hours. But then you got the ones that they're cranky, they're colicky, and oh my goodness, being sleep deprived can literally cause someone to go insane. So, I mean, I might not be the biggest fan of Gypsy, but if she is getting up and that baby's eating every hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever, then Ken or somebody's going to need to be there helping her. But according to Ivory Rose Gross, that lives in the area, she says that Christy has told some of her friends that she is the one taking care of the baby. So I don't know, I mean, I live in a small town and I know how in a small town word travels, especially if you're well known in the small town. Like if you are a doctor here or you're a well known whatever and something you cheat on your wife, like everybody knows about it. So Gypsy lives in a small town where everybody knows who she is. So if Christy is telling a friend or 2 or 3 of hers that she's the one taking care of the baby, I could absolutely see it spreading super quickly. I did not notice that. Guess who? I'll have to go check that out.
And then during the daytime, it'll be like me and Ken are awake, and then we can kind of help each other out then. Right. I came across a lot of videos, like my algorithm is all baby stuff now.
That's awesome.
I reposted this one video that is so relatable. And it's when the transfer from arm to bassinet, and like you hold your breath hoping that it'll go a smooth transition and they'll stay asleep. I was like, this is super real.
That's so funny. I'm so glad that what's in your algorithm now.
Yeah, it's like all baby videos because Google has been my best friend. Like I have all the books. I have like the What to Expect When You're Expecting. I read that throughout my pregnancy. And then I have the What to Expect in the First Year. And Ken has his set of books as well. So it's like we're reading the books. And then if we don't know something, like we'll Google it and things like that.
Yes, that's what I had actually been when I get into conversations, and I really don't much when it comes to the baby, just because I'm protective about her too. Like I'm just like, nope, like we're not talking about the baby, don't ask about the baby. But one thing I've always said that I was so proud of you with is that you've been preparing for motherhood, like, and I mean that's what you should do. But people have their opinions.
Well, yeah, she has, because she literally was buying baby clothes, right after she got out of prison when her and Ryan were together. She started buying baby clothes from jump. So that's how her dad knew. That's how her dad knew when he saw Ryan Ken for the first time. He was like, she wants a baby. Because from the moment she got out of prison, that's what she's been talking about.
So, oh my God, I'm worried about, like, I've never, like, no one needs to be worried about her. I can promise you that. Anytime I talked to Gypsy, she was always doing something that was for the baby, like preparing for this, preparing for that, preparing for this. And like y'all went to, y'all started therapy and doing that for y'all and for the baby. And the fact that, and I love that Ken is so supportive, and Ken is
He's
one of the most amazing men I've ever met.
And yes, when she talks about Google and turning to Google, that kind of caught me off guard too, because I'm like, well, you have Christy there who has had kids, but I found it interesting, and somebody even said, look at her throwing Christy under the bus. I wonder if they're not getting along, because she casually, like, she doesn't say I'm turning to Christy. She made sure to say Christy's not taking care of the baby, and later on she outs Christy for trying to convince her to sell her newborn baby's pictures. And she's like, I mean, it really upset me, but then after I thought about it, we talked about it. But still, Gypsy knows that to say that about Christy on social media, that's going to cause Christy to get a ton of backlash. Gypsy knows that. She knows how this works at this point. That for everybody, the people that dislike Gypsy and Christy, they already think a certain way about them. So for Gypsy to out Christy as trying to convince her to sell her baby's newborn baby pictures, that's going to make those people that dislike Christy even more so be like, look, see, all she cares about is money. We told you. So if that's something that did happen, I just feel like if Gypsy cares about Christy the way that she, we think, she probably should have kept that to themselves and not put that out there, because that's definitely going to get Christy more backlash.
It's been so wonderful and supportive. Like, I really am just blown back, and that just makes me more in love with him, is to like see him with her and how he plays with her and holds her and comforts her. And I've never seen this side of him, and so it's really like, it touches my heart just to kind of see that that side to him that is a parent now.
Yeah, I always knew y'all were gonna do great. I never worried. And I always knew that it was gonna, I don't know, like I knew that I love how Ken put out, you, him and the baby. Like not
There was a lot of debate about that, actually.
Yeah, I love the way he did it. He did it such a classy way. Like, y'all are no one, because I think a lot of people expect it like tabloid or something to be the first one to put it out. And y'all did it like just normal people,
Well, we had a conversation, and like we kept going back and forth because there was a little bit of miscommunication between him and I after she was born. If we were able to keep it hush hush, not because I wanted to hide anything, but I was like, I want us to actually be happy in this moment and not have to worry about Nina said this or conspiracy said that, or Ivory Rose Grows Wild said that in this rumor.
Y'all wanted time for that, just y'all.
Yes, we wanted to have a moment to actually be normal ass people and be happy in the moment at the birth of our child.
Yeah.
So I'm like, to have a few days of just calm peace with nothing being said was the goal. And then he was like, I'm so excited. I would really like to announce. And because I have been in the media for, a year now, or, it's been longer, but hardcore out in the world media, in my mind, announcement like People Magazine or something like that. And so I was like a hardcore no. I was like, no, we're not announcing. Why? Like, our family, our friends know. Why does the world have to know? And so it wasn't until he's like, I just want to post a picture on my Instagram. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, first of all, which one? Because I don't want to show her, because I was very, protective, and I still am very protective. So I was like, I want to make sure that we agree on the picture. He's like, do you want me to tag you in it? I'm like, no. This is, and essentially, this is what you want to do. It's your Instagram. I'm not going to tell you how to run your Instagram.
She said, no, don't tag me. It's your Instagram. I want you to run it the way that you want to run it, but I have to choose what picture you put on there. Like, why not just tag? You guys are a team at this point. You're parents. I'd be like, yeah, tag me. If you want to tag me, sure, I'd love to be tagged. That was very weird to me. Definitely like I don't understand sometimes some of the things that she says. Like, it's almost like she wants to come off as, oh, I have no control over Ken. I don't want to have any control over Ken. I control nothing that Ken does. I have no, I don't want to have any say so over when he proposes, if he's going to propose, if we get married, his social media, nothing. So she says all these things to, to paint it out like, oh, he's his own person, I'm my own person. But then you're like, and I think this saying, when he's like, you want me to tag you? No. It's to paint that picture to like, this is your stuff. But that is going too far. Like, tag. Okay, you're the mom of this baby. You're his girlfriend. You're the mother of his child. So why not tag? To me, that's weird to be like, no, don't tag me. It's your stuff. It's y'all's baby. You're in the photo, woman. So let him tag you. I think you're going overboard, or you're trying to go overboard to paint this picture that doesn't even matter.
All I'm going to say is my input on which picture that I think we could both come to an agreement on, to where it's still protecting her, but you can still have your moment to where you can announce as a proud father. And so once we had an understanding about that, then he posted the picture. Me, on the other hand, I'm still not going to post a picture. I don't even post pictures on my private Facebook. So,
Right.
Yeah,
I wouldn't either, because you just never know. And I think that you're doing what is right for you and for y'all. And I think that picture was perfect. And as far as TMZ, like, y'all didn't do an interview. He just made a comment, right?
Right. So, like, TMZ and all those media stuff, like, they follow our social media platforms. So when we post something on our social media, then mainstream media picks up afterwards.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that, because I know some people had said like they did an interview, and I'm like, no, they didn't.
No.
I was like, that's why it only says Ken said their baby's healthy and they are very happy. And it was
Yeah, so TMZ did reach out to Ken and wanted a comment. They were going to print the article regardless of
right. This is a
anything.
short and simple comment.
Yeah, exactly. So he's like, the baby's healthy, we're happy, all is good, pretty much.
No, y'all did it perfect. Y'all did it the way that no one expected, except for you, the people who know you. Like, we talked about this, like, were you gonna let a magazine, a tabloid put it out, or you were like, absolutely not. And I know a lot of people were expecting that, but I knew you weren't going to.
No, and Christy, she was like, I got offended, but then like we had a conversation because she was like, somebody's gonna get it. Realistically, one day when y'all are out and about, somebody's gonna get a picture of the baby. And I'm like, she's like, well, you should sell it. That way, if somebody's gonna make money off of it, should be you and not some rando. And I got really offended and a little upset with her over it. And I'm like, absolutely not. There is a huge difference between.
I'm going to speak on this because even though I question Christy's motives, and I do think some of her motives are money driven, I do think that is true, to be quite honest, that if Gypsy doesn't want to put her baby out there, she doesn't want to, exploit her baby, so absolutely, then she shouldn't. What she's going to have to do then when she goes out and about is she's really going to have to be very conscious of if her baby's face is being shown. When they're out and they got her in the car seat, they're going to have to make sure they keep that car seat covered, because at the end of the day, there's people in that town that know them. If they're out at a restaurant and they got the baby in her little car seat sitting on a chair or sitting on a table or something, and somebody can snap a picture, that's definitely going to happen. So I can kind of see what Christy is saying. Like, if anybody's going to profit off of your baby's picture, it should be you. I can kind of see that. But then at the end of the day, the position that you're in, Gypsy, and you definitely don't want to be the one being accused of exploiting your newborn baby because of everything that you've been involved in, the way you don't. So I think rather than my response being, I can't help what other people do, it would be, that's why I'm going to try my best to make sure when I'm out and about, my baby is covered. And I'm going to try my best not to give other people that option, because I do understand if I'm out and about with my baby and someone sees us, they may try to take a photo and sell that photo and they'll make a ton of money off of it. But I don't want I don't want my baby's pictures out there at all, whether it be me or somebody else. So she's going to need to be very vigilant when she's out and about with that baby. But the way that she answered that to me, I just kind of was like, but do you really? Because you're like, well, I'm not going to post the baby's photo because I don't want to be accused of exploiting my child. But if I'm out and about and somebody else takes a photo, I can't help what they do. I don't know. To me, those two things just kind of didn't go together, because if I was really concerned with my baby's photo being put out there, then I would have said, that's why when I'm out and about, I'm going to try my darndest to keep my baby covered. So randoms can't do that, I don't know.
I mean, if somebody takes a picture where I'm not even aware, we're at the park, let's just say we're at the park, somebody snaps a picture of us walking through the park, I can't control what other people do. That's just the unfortunate reality of it. But I can control what I do, and I make the choice to not exploit my child. So.
Right. And I know at the end of the day, she obviously never meant it
that way, but the way it came out was just
that would have yeah, exactly. That's what the world would have viewed it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like, I've seen some people saying, take this. I guarantee you she's going to become a mommy, a vlogger. And I'm like, she's not.
No, I don't have any interest in that or whatever. I mean, I feel like there's books and everything. There's enough information about parenthood. And children don't come with manuals. So there's nothing that I could put out that could help the next mom, because I'm just as new as anybody else.
Exactly. And one thing that I have tried to stress to people is if we go way back, that's one thing that you've always wanted was to.
I felt so too, Patience. Is that I literally felt so too. There's no overexcitement or like just very casual discussion. Oh, yeah. There's no oh my goodness, it is so she's just so awesome. I'm gonna protect her with no, nobody's gonna take a photo because there's no extreme emotion in her voice when talking about the baby. It's just very yep, I felt that as well.
To just be a normal girl, fall in love, have a family. And it was never, I want to be famous. I want people to know me. I want to, no, that's not what you wanted. What you wanted since before everything was just what you have now. And I think people will eventually see that you don't have to prove anything to anybody. Of course, you know that, but it will be proven to them. And maybe then they'll see, okay, Gypsy really, she's living the life that she really truly always wanted. This is what she wanted. She didn't want what the public thinks she wanted, the attention, the fame, the spotlight. No, you just kind of stepped into that. And I think that, and that's why I'm so proud of you, though, because if you think of when you almost been you've been out of prison for a little bit over a year now. And if you look at where you were and where you are now, you came into the world being kind of what everybody else wanted you to be, like what the public wanted you to be. And then over time, you finally, stepped into who you wanted to be. And that takes a strong person. And it's especially when you're faced with you have the opportunity for fame, but firsthand, it's not all what it's not as glamorous as people think it is.
Right.
And, your first year out of prison came with a lot of challenges because of that fame and being in the spotlight. And I know now, I can tell when I talk to you, you seem so much happier. And this goes to show anyone listening, having so many followers isn't going to be the thing that makes you happy. And I know for Gypsy, her big account isn't what brings her joy. It's being with the person she loves and her family now, that's what brings her joy. It wasn't the 10 million followers that she got, No,
I was actually even my messages with the hacker, I was I was going to delete it, deactivate it in a couple months anyway. I accepted that if I lost this account, I accepted that, hey, it's gone. And you know what? Good riddance, because the burden of having 9.8, million opinions and eyes on you, it is extremely stressful and it is a burden. And, I keep it open because it's a lot of family and friends have been you can't come across this kind of following page that you want to. If you want to start a vlog about crocheting, you can do that and have all the followers. it's not my life, and it's like I always said, it's not real life. So I accepted it if it was gone for good. I have Ken to thank for helping me get it back.
Awesome.
Because I'm terrible at like tech savvy stuff. I'm not tech savvy. So he was able to help me go through who I need to contact with TikTok, make a troubleshoot ticket or whatever, and let them know my account's been hacked, and he was able to help me get it back. But essentially, I was totally fine with it if it was gone. Now, am I happy I got it back? Just to prove a point that it's not okay for people to behave that the way they did whenever it was being hacked, with wanting to buy the account and everything like that, and the haters just absolutely loving it.
Right.
How could you expect to be, preach karma and be like, oh, this is Gypsy's karma? No, it's not. Because guess what? If this account was gone, I would have been happy. I would have been fine with it.
Right. People don't realize they don't know.
Is the fact that the hacker went live again and again and again, and people were just gifting the account, and they were gifting the hacker, being like a stick it to Gypsy type of thing. And then I get my account back, and all those live gifts goes to me.
Yeah, I did a video about that today.
That's just funny.
Someone was like, she paid the hacker.
Which is really weird to me. I'm not gonna lie, because hackers, if you're good enough to hack, if you can hack an account, what's the purpose to hack it? Obviously, that hacker went live saying over and over and over, send me money, send me money, send me money. And he's like, I'll sell you the account, send me money. They're like, show her messages, send me money. All that hacker was concerned about was sending money. People that got on was like, you're a hero. He's like, send me money. He wasn't even like, he didn't even care that people was like liking him. He showed no attention to it. He's like, you gonna send me money? They're like, you're a hero. He's like, you gonna send me money? He didn't, like, he was so about money. And I'm like, the purpose for a hacker to hack account, right, and to beg for money like that was to get the money. And all that hacker had to do was go into the settings, change the payment option from Gypsy's to theirs. And then whenever the money, especially the live, like that goes out weekly. So the fact that the hacker did not change the payment option to their payment option and left it as Gypsy's is very strange to me. I'm like, what? Like, the hacker did the one thing that the hacker didn't do the one thing like hackers do. And the reason hackers do this is for the money. That's why they do it. But that was the one thing he didn't do. He begged for money. And I'm telling you, like, I was watching, and this dude was getting gifted left and right. And I remember thinking, like, dang, that hacker just got a good payday from this, you know? And now, according to Gypsy, she actually got all the payment from it, which, honestly, I'm not a fan of Gypsy, but I'm even more so not a fan of, like, hackers, because they target, like, the most vulnerable people, like grandparents and people on a fixed income. So I thought that it was kind of disgusting that just because people hate Gypsy so much, they was like hyping this hacker up, and they were like, you're a hero, and sending this hacker money. I'm like, it's so funny that you guys like hate Gypsy so much that you're sending this man money, when guess what? The second this hacker gets off this live stream, he's going to go to try to hack somebody else or scam somebody else, and that person's going to be your grandmother, could be your disabled relative. Bet you wouldn't like him then. Well, guess that's what he does. So I thought it was just so wrong that people like sent the money. So a part of me was like, that's what people get. People that want to like high five somebody as disgusting as a hacker, like sending them money. That's what you get, you know? I didn't like it at all that people did that. I'm not a fan of Gypsy, don't like her at all, but, well, here's the thing. Rebecca said that's a scammer, not a hacker. Well, hackers and scammers kind of go hand in hand. This person hacked the account and begged for money. That person didn't hack the account and beg for money thinking that it was going to go to Gypsy. He obviously thought it was going to go to him, and that's why he was wasting his time begging for money, unless it was a setup and Gypsy was behind it. And Gypsy had this happen, you know, knowing the outcome that people would donate to this hacker, you know, her haters would donate to the hacker and she would make a lot of money off of it, you know?
I'm like, what? She
No,
got
no.
reimbursed? She got reimbursed for money on the live gifts? I was like, what sense does that make?
No, it's just the point that, you know,
it's not okay. And people
it's
like,
not okay to act that way. It's just not. I mean,
that was the formal. It came back before Wednesday, which is payday.
right?
You know? So no one should be gifting. Basically, like, say if you wouldn't have gotten it back, all they're doing is getting scammed out of money. This is a hacker. Just like people that were trying to pay him for that account.
They knew this guy was a scammer, and they're still talking to him, and they're still gifting him. And I'm like, I'm watching, and you know, because I was watching from Christy's phone, and we were just watching it all together, and I'm like, grab the popcorn. This is a freaking shit show right now, and we're just watching, baffled, and. You know, there was nothing I could do at the time but wait for TikTok to respond to me. But I'm like, the thing is, it's like, if you're able to get through to TikTok and actually talk to someone, it's your account. So you could easily give TikTok your information to get the account back. Right. So I told the hacker, I'm like, I'm going to get my account back. Like, and he's like, give me $400. I'm like, no, like, I'm not going to buy my own account back from you. That's crazy.
Right. And then no. And I know some of the messages that were put out were fake. And then
the messages that I don't know what it was. It was like a separate account or whatever. But there was so many fake messages that were supposedly from me and Ryan. Like, they were crazy messages too. Like,
I know, it was so funny. The comment on Conspiracy's video. No shit, they're fake. Because that's what I was saying.
Like, I know. I was like, no shit, they're fake. Like, this clearly.
But they posted the real ones first, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So the ones that you had put out were his messages to me. And then right before our divorce, I had reached out to him because I really just kind of wanted a closure conversation. He keeps saying that, like, it's really hard for him to move on whenever the last thing he had seen was me walking out the door. And so I was like, you know, I reached out to him, and I had talked to Ken. I talked to my dad. I talked to my sister. I talked to Christy. I literally talked to everybody within my close circle and asked them, is this a good idea? How do you feel about it? I talked to Ken about it thoroughly. Ken said,
because what she wanted to do, here's the thing. Before they went to sign their divorce papers, she reached out to Ryan and asked if he would meet up with her after court at like a cafe or something for closure. He did not respond to her. But the thing about it is she had the cameras with her. And had he said yes, had he responded, I'm sure her next message to him would have been like, just so you know, the cameras will be with me. This will be filmed. Because I don't think for a second that Gypsy would reach out to Ryan to talk to him for closure without the cameras. I think that was strictly for the show, which on the trailer, it does show Ryan. So I don't know if Ryan's going to be on the show some. I don't know if he did interviews to talk about what he's been going through. I'm not sure. I wouldn't be shocked. Jennifer said, where's the baby now if she's up so much? The baby's with Christy. Christy's watching the baby more than likely for her to do this phone interview.
Said that if it brought me and him closure, he was completely like fine with it. Like, he didn't have a problem with that. If it helped us move on and helped us grow as people, he was fine with it. So I think it's funny that people were like, ooh, I wonder what juicy messages are in there. And I'm like, okay, literally, there's nothing in there that I would be ashamed of people
I
seeing.
know. They wanted to see yours and Ryan's, yours and Ken's, and yours and mine. Okay. Everybody wanted to see. I was like, there's nothing in any of those, like videos, sharing videos. You and Ryan was really short. And then wait, the question of the hour, because no, he didn't end up going to court though, right?
No, he waived his right to go, so it was just me that went, and he never responded to my message to him. But his mom and I are still on good terms.
I don't know. I'm going to tell you how my family is. This is how my family rolls. If you screw one of us over the way she screwed Ryan over, we're not on good terms with you. I don't care. Because you guys have to remember, she left Ryan. She filed a restraining order against Ryan. She leaked information to TMZ to allude that Ryan was abusive. She said he was a hoarder that reminded her of her mother. She talked about his refrigerator being nasty. So she's like, me and his mom were on good terms. I'm like, Ryan, talk to your mama. Which Ryan is still like, he's still a fan of Gypsy. It's so ironic because I was watching him on a live the other day and he was talking about, he got these shirts. One of his fans made him a shirt that says Team Pixie, which is the dog, and Team Ryan. And he wore them on live streams and he shouted out her business and was like, I got these from this business. She's linked in the whatever. Go check her out. Go get you some shirts. She has other shirts. You don't have to buy just these. Like, she can do any shirt you want. So he shouted this woman out and her business. He wore her shirts. Well, the other day when he went live, he said that while he still likes the shirt, he regrets promoting the business and the woman because he found out that the woman called Disney World or Disney whatever because there were some rumors that Gypsy and Ken was going to Disney, and this woman that has the shirt business called Disney and told Disney, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is, might come to y'all's theme park, and this is who she is. This is what she's done. She killed her mom. She blah, 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 blah. She was in jail for blah, 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 blah. She's still on parole. This woman contacted this theme park to try to make sure they would not allow Gypsy in. So Ryan was like, yeah, I promoted her business. I promoted her shirts. And then I found out she did that. And so I regret promoting her business because, and he's like, you guys, you got to understand, like, while Gypsy did me wrong and we're not together, I don't want people, trying to ruin her life. Like, she still should be able to go on and live her life. And he's like, I wanted to take her to Disney. So my hope is that one day she will be able to go to Disney. But you got these people like calling Disney and calling these places that she wants to go to try to make sure she can't go there. So he talked about that. And so Ryan is still very much like Team Gypsy. Like he is like, despite. So a part of me is like, if this was me and some man did me this way, and this man gets on a TikTok live saying, yeah, I'm still cool with Elle's mom, I'd be like, Mama Elle, why is he on TikTok saying y'all still cool? I'm going to need you not to be cool with him. Remember what he did to me? We're not cool with him. Yeah, we're not cool with people that, try to have a smear campaign against me, because that's literally what she did. Gypsy started a smear campaign against Ryan Anderson when she left him. And the reason why, the one and only reason why, was because she knew she was about to move on very quickly. She knew how that was going to look. However, if the whole world thought that Ryan was this horrible person that was abusive, that reminded her of her mother, then we would be on her side versus on Ryan's side. So that's why she wanted to ruin Ryan's reputation and make it out like Ryan. She literally filed for a restraining order against him. When she filed for a divorce, she filed for a restraining order. She filed for spousal support. She was literally asking for spousal support from a man that's a special education teacher. Meanwhile, she's on TikTok making thousands of dollars a week. So yeah, the fact that Ryan's mom is still cool with her, I'm sure Ryan doesn't have a problem with it, but I definitely would.
Joy is a really sweet woman, and so
She seems like it.
she is, and so she just kind of relayed to me that it would have been too hard for him to have a face-to-face with me on the day of the divorce, and I totally respected that. So
Okay, because he said no comment when someone asked him if y'all had seen each other.
well, we didn't.
You're like, I'll make it clear.
Well, I'll make it clear we didn't, but it's okay. I hope
Maybe
that
one day y'all will, but
yeah, I'm just hoping that like
he's able to move on and heal.
he's able to heal. I know that, I've had moments in the past where I've gotten frustrated, and he knows that. So I think we're just at a place right now where no communication is best right now. So
I think that's better for him anyway. Like I think that it's hard to heal if you're still in communication with that person,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some people can do it, but most people can't. And
I've had some friends before where, we parted ways due to a disagreement or whatever. And it was years before we got back into communication. And it was better once we had that, 2-3 years of not communicating. Because when we did communicate again, we were in a different headspace.
right.
So that's one part of the interview is what I'm going to call it. Now, the second part of the interview is, let me see, 21 minutes long as well. The last part that I have, I think, is 21 minutes long. And we'll go over that probably either Sunday or Monday. On the second part, she talks about her sister getting plastic surgery. And I don't know. I don't watch her sister. I know her sister was live yesterday and I missed it. But I don't know if her sister went into details about the fact that she was going to have plastic surgery or she did. But Gypsy sure did. Gypsy went into full detail about her sister's plastic surgery and what the doctor told her about you should get this and for this reason. Also in the next one, she talks about her plans after she gets off parole, how she plans to go to cosmetology school, but there's not one in Golden Meadow, so she has to wait till she gets off parole so she can find one local to her. And she also talks about giving birth. She talks about, and a lot of people was like, I don't hear her talking about her child. Like I don't hear her saying anything. Like, oh, she's great. Oh, I love motherhood. Nothing. And then I saw another comment saying, well, she says she don't want to exploit her child. So of course she's not going to talk about her child. Well, in part 2, she does talk about Bree was like, I'm shocked that when you went into labor, like it didn't get leaked. And she talks about how everything transpired. I want to say she even said it was in the middle of the night. Yeah, she was like, well, it was in the middle of the night. So nobody knew. It's not like paparazzi's going to be hanging out at the hospital at 1:00 in the morning. So it doesn't seem like this was a planned situation. It seems like she went into labor. Because she says it was like 1:00 in the morning and she went and she was 6 centimeters dilated when she went in. And then they waited a while thinking that she was going to continue dilating, but she didn't. So they had to give her Pitocin to help her dilate. And then she talks about when the doctor came in and was like, well, you're at 10 centimeters. You're going to start pushing in a second. She talks about her eyes getting so big. And she's like, ask, you guys can ask Christy, my eyes got so big when they said that. And then Bree was like, was Ken in there with you? She was like, oh yeah, it was just me and Ken. It was only me and Ken in the room with me. So she talks about how there was a discussion that she could have potentially had her sister in the room with her, but she decided not to and to only go with having Ken in the room and how they kind of kept everything a secret. But still, even in talking about all of that, she never says, you know, I had the baby and it was just the best moment of my life. She never says anything like that. Like the most I've heard her really talk about is Ken and how she loves seeing Ken be a dad and she loves seeing Ken interact with the baby. I listening to all of this and I've been editing and things like that. And I can't say there was one moment where she said, it was hard, but it was so worth it. Or she actually talks about how easy it was. She was like, I had an epidural, so it was pretty easy. But at no moment do I recall her saying it was a great experience or it was the best experience or nothing like that. So I don't know. Maybe she's just still. I've heard of celebrities speaking out like years after they give birth. Who was it Brooke Shields that spoke out about postpartum depression and how she was detached from her baby? Khloe Kardashian, she spoke out about how she was detached from her son for a while. And, her son, she used a surrogate. And even when she was pregnant, she confided in her mom with how she did not feel an attachment to this baby. And she was like, I think I made a mistake by having a surrogate because while I was pregnant with True and I bonded with her while she was in my belly and I had this attachment from the moment that I found out I was pregnant, she talked about how she didn't have that with her son because she used a surrogate. And even months after struggling to have that bond due to, her using a surrogate, but I think it was Brooke Shields that just it was postpartum that she just so, maybe it's one of these situations where Gypsy, the reason we don't hear her in awe of her baby yet is because there is some detachment there. I don't know. Yeah. So I don't know. But that's part one. And this was Flawless Nina posted it as well. But this was her friend Bree, who, in my opinion, I feel like she full on gave an interview. And here's the thing. Gypsy answered like every question that she asked. And I know Gypsy's like, I don't want to do interviews. I just want to be a mom. I don't want to be out to the public. But guess what happened? You were on a TikTok page with your friend that has a lot of followers due to you. So it's going to be talked about. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to go live with a friend of yours and answer all her questions, I mean, I don't know. Part of me is like, you might as well do it with People Magazine and get paid for it. Because what just happened is you just did it. It's going to be covered now. We're going to be talking about it. And you're not making money off of it. So I don't know. And while I do think Christy is money driven, I could kind of understand Christy with somebody's going to take a photo of your baby and they're going to profit off of it. If it's going to happen, it needs to be you. But if I was Gypsy and that was really what I wanted to do, and my main concern was to keep my kid off social media, and I was like, I'm not going to sell the photo, I would do my best to make sure no random could either. Like Michael Jackson. I mean, heck, I didn't know what Michael Jackson's kids really looked like until after that man passed away, I don't think. Because, I mean, he always kept their face covered. Now, sometimes their covers were kind of sheer, so you could kind of see them a little bit, but never good enough to know for sure. The stepmom didn't have surgery. It was Mia had surgery, Gypsy's sister. I want to. I'm super into the Ruby Frankie stuff, so I definitely want to. Just gotta see if I have time. Now, according to her, they were there. According to her, she mentions Christy being there and Ken being there. And someone asked while ago, did she sleep with Ryan? Her and Ryan slept together. You don't remember the D is fire comment? And he was like, well, come get it, baby. And then they did the vow files. where Nick Vile brought that up. And Nick Vile was like, so what happened after that? And Ryan was like, well, she came and got it. Now, Gypsy did come out after her and Ryan split up, and she said that the D actually wasn't fire and that she wasn't physically attracted to Ryan. And I'm like, you did that man so dirty. Like, Gypsy outed herself as a liar, you know? Like, you don't have to publicly say that your man, that the D is fire if it's not. You don't have to. You could have just went with, I love you, don't pay attention to the haters. You could have left out the D is fire. But you went the extra mile, you told the lie, and then whenever you left him, you was like, I lied actually. Girl, you can't afford to be getting caught in lies because of your background. You know what I'm saying? What? No way. I have not heard that. What's up with Mia's graduation at Gypsy? No show. That's another thing that people think that Gypsy may have been in the hospital at that time. Okay. Oh my God. You guys hear about the nurse who fractured a little NICU baby limbs? Like on purpose? I know. Right, shenanigans? So, wow. That needs to get beat up. Yeah, and her sisters never come out to say, like, here's the thing. Mia could have been like, Gypsy could have been there. She could have been there. They could have took pictures with Gypsy, but Gypsy and Mia could have collectively decided that the photos that was posted would not include any of Gypsy. So Gypsy didn't steal Mia's moment. Because guess what? That was Mia's moment. She's been in college for how many years? You know, so I think she's going for nursing, if I'm not mistaken. So could you imagine putting in all that work? You graduate, you take a photo with your family, you put it up on your social media page, and you got your pregnant sister in the photo with you. That the only thing people's talking about is your sister's baby bump. Is it real? Is it fake? Is it bigger than it was last week? So it could have been, you know, sound like Ryan. It could have been one of those things where she was there. They just didn't post any photos of her on social media, so she didn't take her shine. And I know the college here, well, not here, but the college over next to us, like you only get like 5 tickets or something. It's not a very many. Uh, I don't understand people. Like someone that could do something like that. That's disgusting. But anyways, you guys, we will listen to the last part of the interview either Sunday or Monday. I will be posting before I do it. If I'm going to do it Sunday, I'll let you guys know a couple of hours in advance. If not, it'll be Monday. But I will post it on my Facebook account. Let me show you guys my Facebook account because somebody said earlier they couldn't find it. So I'm going to show you guys where it's at because I always post on Facebook before I go live. Okay. Here's my Facebook account. Go follow me there. It's Elle Bee, and it has this background of reality TV people. I'm trying to build my platform over there as well. So before I go live, I post on Facebook, I post on X, I post on Instagram. So if you follow me on any of those platforms, I will be posting Sunday. If I can do the live Sunday, I'll post it like, hey guys, we're going to go over part 2 of the interview today. If not, it will be Monday. That's Stassi from Vanderpump Rules. But like I said, part 2 does discuss her going into labor. Breeze, like I was so shocked that you guys were able to get in and out of the hospital, you know, and not be seen. And Gypsy talks about how they were able to do that. So you guys leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow me on my other social media platforms. When I was in labor with my son, The nurses held me down for 10 minutes, telling me not to push. My water broke. They didn't even check for my OB. Oh wow, Christy. Wow. One was a twin. Both. Oh my goodness. That just disgusts me that somebody could do that. Leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys think that it's awkward that there was no moment to where she talked about just loving being a mom, just loving, you know, her child? No, no emotion, no emotional comment, directed at her baby. Some say that she's detached. Absolutely, J. Marie. Also, yes, prayers for everyone in California that's been affected by these fires. When I got up this morning, I think I saw that there were 10 people that had lost their lives. That was this morning. So I don't know if that number has went up or not. Prayers that it hasn't. And then to pray for all those that is going through this cold weather, because there's a lot of states that's dealing with it right now that they're not used to it. People without power, people that don't know how to drive in it. So prayers for California, the fires, prayers for everybody who's been affected by the fires, by the weather. And yeah, I'll see you guys. The press are getting hate. Yep, I saw that. I hate that. But give this video a thumbs up on your way out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.